Alright mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Accumulate, where I do my best at trying to predict the weekend's football results. Now this week we've got 8 Premier League games and a Capital One Cup final. Pretty big, Wembley, Chelsea versus Tottenham. So as usual, I'll be predicting the results. FIFA 15 will be simulating them, seeing how they can do at guessing the right results. And of course I'll be taking on someone else. This week it's going to be my YouTube buddy, MGH. He's known for his FIFA 15 career mode and he's got a good knowledge of football, so it's going to be an interesting test. Don't forget guys, this series is sponsored by FFE, the Fantasy Football Exchange, the future of fantasy football. And at the end of the episode I'll show you my team for this week and why I think they're the best 11 you could get. But before we start, let's take a look at the Accumulate League table and see where things stand. I had a pretty good episode last time out. I got 7 out of 10 predictions correct. It was the week I took on my mum. She actually got 5 out of 10, which is decent, and it puts her in 4th place. I'm down to 6th. Obviously, I've had a lot more guesses than most people. 81 guesses, 38 correct, leaves me with 47% correct score. FIFA has now dropped onto the 2nd page, the bottom half of the league table. And you guys continue to do well. 29 of 46 guesses correct, 63% score is very good guys, well done. In the bottom half you can see that FIFA have dropped down to 7th, 37% correct score. I think they only got 2 of 10 guesses right last time out. They didn't have a good week. They'll be hoping they can sort things out this time round. Okay, now it's time to crack on. Let's take a look at the simulations on FIFA 15 from this week's games, see what they think's going to happen. First up is my boys, West Ham against Crystal Palace, and as we often see in these predictions, we get a boring 0-0 draw. Another draw for West Ham, we've had a lot recently. Next up is Burnley versus Swansea. Guess what? Another 0-0, another game without any goals. The good news is we're getting some goals coming up soon, but that one is going to be a bore draw. Here we go then, let's let the action commence. Here at Old Trafford we do see a goal and it comes from Falcao. That would be great, get the monkey off his back, start scoring some goals. The Man U faithful would love that. And that's the way it ends, 1-0 to Manchester United, 3 points for Louis van Gaal. And Sunderland get nothing. Right, Newcastle versus Aston Villa next, and Tim Sherwood's boys take the early lead. A goal from new signing Carlos Gil puts them 1-0 up, not to Xabi Alonso. And that's the way it finishes, an away win for Aston Villa, no points for Newcastle following their thrashing at the hands of Man City, not looking good at St James Park. Stoke versus Hull is next, and Stoke take the lead with a strike from Whelan, putting them 1-0 up in the 54th minute. And that's the way it finishes. A 1-0 win for the home side. It's a hard place to go, the Britannia. It's a hard place to go. West Brom versus Southampton looks set for another 0-0 draw until in the last seconds of the game, West Brom win a penalty. Southampton will be fuming. I know how this feels. We did it against Spurs ourselves. West Ham, we gave away a penalty in the last seconds, and West Brom get their goal. They go 1-0 up. Chris Brunt gets it in the last seconds of the game. Southampton lose at West Brom. No one saw that coming. 3 points for the Baggies under Tony Pulis. Liverpool versus Man City is a big one, and Man City look pretty dominant here. Ball in from Yaya Toure. Samir Nasri with a header. Not something you see very often, but they go 1-0 up in the 5th minute. And they add a second goal to their lead not too long after. In the 34th minute, Yaya Toure does some fantastic work. Puts it in the back of the net. Not too bad. Pretty good from the lad off the back of winning the African Cup of Nations. In the second half, Liverpool do get one back after a great strike from Allen bounces off the woodwork. Coutinho finishes it with a tidy finish, 2-1. And that's the final score. Man City take 3 vital points in the title chase back to Manchester with them. Arsenal versus Everton now, and Arsenal will look to continue their good run of form, and they do that. Rosicky gets a goal in the 9th minute, puts them 1-0 up. But Everton do get one back when McCarthy gets the ball in the box, lays off Ross Barkley. Lovely finish from the Englishman. It's an equaliser. It's 1-0 at the Emirates, and that's the way it finishes. 1 point apiece for Arsene Wenger and Roberto Martinez. And now it's the big one. The Capital One Cup final between Chelsea and Tottenham starts off very well for the Blues. Diego Costa putting them 1-0 ahead. And moments later, they get a second when Cuadrado wins a penalty after a little bit of tomfoolery in the box. Hazard's obviously going to take it and put it away like this. Oh my god, Pirlo, eat your heart out. That's naughty. Chelsea even get a third goal when Diego Costa puts the ball in the box and Oscar heads it home. It's like they've swapped jobs there. You'd expect to see Diego Costa heading it in, not Oscar. But a goal is a goal. It's 3-0. And into the second half, Tottenham do get one back when Dembele does pretty well, weaves his way around someone, puts it in the bottom corner. But it's only a consolation goal from Spurs. The final score is 3-1 to Chelsea. They're the League Cup champions. And that is it for FIFA's predictions this week. Let's go over to MGH and see what he thinks is going to happen.
Hey, what's up guys, MGH here. Spencer has kindly invited me onto his Accumulate series, so let's get on with my predictions for the weekend, including the League Cup final. West Ham versus Crystal Palace, it's a real tough one. Got a team that's been doing well all season, Crystal Palace starting to do well now under their new manager. I'm going to go with a draw. Burnley versus Swansea is also a difficult one. Burnley have been playing really well recently, haven't quite got the results. Swansea just beat Man United. Massive result for them, the double against Man United. So I'm going to go with a Swansea win. Manchester United versus Sunderland should be a great game. I'm hoping for lots of goals. And I think Man United will win this game quite comfortably. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. You've got two very different sides in different form right now. Newcastle, terrible loss to Manchester City. And then you've got Aston Villa struggling to score. I'm going to go with a boring 0-0 draw. Now, Stoke versus Hull. It's never easy going to Stoke. Arsenal fans should know this very well. I'm going to go with a Stoke win. I don't think Hull are good enough, and actually I think they're relegation material. And now for the final game of Saturday, we've got West Brom versus Southampton. Southampton just dropped points against Liverpool. West Brom are doing really well under their new manager, Tony Pulis. It's a difficult one to call. I'm going to go with a draw again. Moving on to Sunday, absolutely huge games. We've got Liverpool versus Man City. I think Liverpool, great form at the moment. They've got the most points in 2015 in the Premier League so far. Man City do look strong at the moment, especially now that Yaya Touré's back. I think Liverpool might edge it though. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. And now moving on to my favourite team, Arsenal. We're playing against Everton at home at the Emirates, and I think that should be a comfortable win. We didn't do particularly well against Everton at the start of the season, but I think this time around, Everton are really struggling at this time of the season. And I think at home, we're pretty difficult to beat as well. So I'm going to go for a comfortable Arsenal win. Moving on to the last game of the weekend and the biggest game. We've got Chelsea versus Spurs at Wembley, the League Cup final. I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. I think Spurs, off the back of a bad result against West Ham, I think they're going to be tired, especially after playing on Thursday in Europe. I think that Chelsea should win this game comfortably and they will lift the trophy. So thanks for having me on the show, Spencer. Really appreciate it, mate.
Okay, so the predictions are in from FIFA. They're in from MGH. It's time for me to throw my hat in the ring. I'm the only one that thinks West Ham can beat Palace at home. That's not biased talking. I genuinely believe we're good enough. Burnley, Swansea, I agree with FIFA. I think it's going to be a draw. Man United, Sunderland, we all think Man United will get 3 points at home there. Newcastle, Aston Villa, I can see it being a draw personally. We all think Stoke are going to win at home versus Hull. West Brom versus Southampton, I'm the only person that thinks Southampton will get an away win there. Liverpool versus Man City, me and FIFA are both saying Man City for the win. MGH saying Liverpool. Arsenal versus Everton, I think it's going to be an Arsenal home win, and we all believe Chelsea will win the League Cup. Although they haven't got Nemanja Matic and Harry Kane is scoring for fun. What do you reckon? So guys, they are the predictions for this week. What do you think? Who's got the best chance of getting the most right? Me? MGH? FIFA? It could be you, because this is your chance to leave your predictions. In the description below, there's a straw poll link for each of the 9 games from this weekend. Click on there, let me know what you think, and you could be helping the viewers climb up the league table. The viewers are doing really well though. You guys know your football, so fair play. Now it's time to take a look at my Fantasy Football Exchange team for this week, and I've entered a £5 buy-in league with a guaranteed 1,000 pot giveaway, which is amazing. It means regardless of how many people enter the league, the FFE guys are going to be giving out £1,000 in prizes. So if you fancy yourself as someone that knows a little bit about fantasy football, and maybe you want to play on a week by week basis instead of creating one team that you don't win anything until the end of the league, this is the website for you. And of course, if you just want to play for free, that's fine as well. You can do that as well. So check it out. There's a link in the description, fantasyfootballexchange.co.uk. Here's my team. Now, obviously, this is for the Premier League, so I've left out Chelsea and Tottenham players who are playing in the League Cup final. I've gone with De Gea in goal. I fancy Man United to keep a clean sheet. Controversial, I know, but I think they can do it. I've gone with 3 at the back, Mertesacker, Cresswell and Williams. Cresswell's West Ham are at home against Crystal Palace. I'm hoping we can get some points there. They're my team. Mertesacker of Arsenal are at home against Everton. Meanwhile, Ashley Williams, Swansea are away versus Burnley. But I've got a feeling all 3 teams can get wins there, or maybe a clean sheet. In the midfield, we've gone with Downing, Silva, Cazorla and Sinclair. Sinclair's picked up 2 goals already since moving to Villa in January. I know Sherwood will want to get him a win in their game. He lost his first game in charge. Cazorla's been scoring a lot of penalties recently, so maybe he can continue to do that at Everton. And up front, I've got a triple threat attack of Sanchez, Sturridge and Sacco. Deadly. A lot of West Ham players in there, not because I'm being biased, because I'd like to think we can beat Palace based on our recent results. You know, we've drawn with Tottenham, Southampton and United. I think we can do Palace at home. And on the bench, I've got Forster, Boyd, Klein and Cameron. That's my team. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what your team looks like. Post a screenshot or just type it in the comments, or tweet me and tweet the FFE guys as well. Let me know your team, guys. That is it for this episode of Accumulate. Thanks for watching. Thanks to MGH for sending me your predictions as well, mate. We'll see how you get on next episode. Drop a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you on the next one. Don't go changing.